Hi there, today we're unboxing an outdoor IP camera. So this particular camera is by a company called Apeman, and resolution on this camera is 1080p. Details are in the description below for anyone thinking of purchasing. So let's have a quick look around the packaging. Comes nicely packaged, not a vast amount of detail on there, some basic information there. So security encryption, cloud service, IP66 waterproof, remote monitoring and motion detection. Come round, nothing on there. Details on there, so 24/7 recording if you wanted, 2.4G Wi-Fi supported, 1080p as I've already mentioned, and 110-degree field of view. Okay, and nothing else. Let's open it up and see what we get in the packaging. Okay, card initially, camera, and some cables in there. Okay, so I've laid out all the items you get in the packaging, so let me quickly go through them. So the card that came out is a thank you card with contact details. You've got a user manual, which is multi-language. For each language, it's not a vast amount of details, and from what I've seen, it's quite straightforward. Okay, and then we've got a seal here. If you want to connect the camera via an Ethernet cable, you can water seal it here. You've got an Allen key. You've got some waterproof tape to assist in sealing this. You've got cable management clips here. If I come in closer, hopefully you should get a good look at that. There you go. And then you've got some raw plugs and screws for actually fixing it. Okay, then you've got a Wi-Fi antenna. Okay, next we've got the power adapter, just to show the actual output on this one. So if I come in close there, you've got 12 volts, 1000 milliamps. Build quality of this seems good. And you get 1.35 meters of cable on this. And surprisingly, you also get an extension on top of that. So build quality of this one is really good as well. So quite surprised. I've not generally seen manufacturers giving extenders on it. So this particular cable is 2.7 meters in length. So a vast amount of cable there. So very useful, and no messing around trying to find a socket nearby. You can extend it a good amount of distance there. So 1.35 meters and 2.7 meters. Okay, and then we've got the actual camera itself. Nice solid build to it, metal construction all the way around, and even the actual bracket is metal as well. Okay, and the Allen key is for this location. So if I take it and I just place it in the location there, turn it, idea being you can twist this around. So there you go. So you can adjust it like so, and then obviously put it into the position you want, and it will just stay in position. So once you've got it in position, just tighten it up. And it's a strange design. I think it's a combination. Let me try tightening this. If I put it in there and then keep tightening. Okay, it just becomes stiffer, so quite good. The bottom, you've actually got a rubber seal there. So when you've fixed it to a wall, it's nice and tight, and then the wire can go straight down or into an area straight behind it, so it's completely hidden. Okay, behind it you can see an SD card slot and a point to actually connect the aerial. So the aerial is quite straightforward. Just put it on and tighten it up. Okay, once that's in the position, you can put it like so. Connectivity wise, if we look on the end of the cable's quite chunky, thick connector there, and you've got 3 points on there. So the power adapter gets connected there. You've got a reset point here. So if I take the cover off that, it's just a button, you just hold on to that. Okay, and then you've got an Ethernet slot. So if you wanted to avoid using Wi-Fi, you can just use this. Now, it is quite chunky, I have to admit, so you'd probably want some sort of waterproof box to put this in, and then once that's in there, at least you know it's all protected and sealed, and you won't have anyone, if you've got it quite low down, coming up to it and obviously resetting it via the button. So obviously you want to keep these things nicely sealed and hidden away. Okay, so the actual camera itself, if I adjust it like so, and we get our ruler, I can give you a size from here to here. We're saying approximately 16.5 centimeters if we take that end into account. The actual physical camera itself, let's go from the top here. So we're saying about just a little bit over 9 centimeters. And then about 6. And if we look straight on, obviously the lens and infrared around there, so you've got about 6.5 by just a little bit over 6.5 on that. So not too big, nice compact camera, and build quality does feel really good and solid build on there, have to admit, so very nice. Okay, so let's make a start at installing a micro SD card into the actual camera. So the maximum the system can accept is a 64 gig. It doesn't actually come with a micro SD card, as I've shown. It's pretty straightforward to install. So if I turn this around, there's 2 screws here. So if I unscrew them, we can just open it up and then put our card in. So let me quickly do that. Okay, so now the cover's off, just reveals a slot just there. So let me get my micro SD card and let's see if this is the right way around. Oh, it's actually the other way around. And just put it in, it just clips into place, push it again, it pops out. So push it in and let me put the cover back on there. Okay, so let's make a start at setting up this camera. So I've got my smartphone here and it's an Android phone. So I'm going to go to the Play Store. I'm going to search for Smart Life. Now the app they recommend installing is this one, TUYA Smart, but I'm going to go for Smart Life. They're both identically the same, but I actually use this one, so that's the one we're going to go for. So if I click on that, it's already installed. We'll just click open. So when you first go into this, you're going to have to register an account if you haven't already got one, and then you'll be presented with this dialog. Now, it's pretty straightforward. You just click on the plus button, click on Smart Camera just down there, and it's asking if there's a light flashing on the device. So if I put my phone down for a moment, let's get this connected up. So very straightforward. You've got the point there, and on the power adapter, just plug that in. And the other end, I'm just going to plug in to a power strip I've got that side. If I bring the camera around, there's a light just there. Let's give it a moment just to initialize. Now, if that doesn't start flashing, you've got the reset button, which is here. So you can just hold on to that for 5 to 10 seconds. But it is flashing away, so that's a good sign. Okay, so as that's flashing, the next step is to enter in my Wi-Fi password. So I'm just going to move the camera away, enter that, and I'm going to be presented with a QR code. And that QR code will be scanned in by the camera. So literally just flip the camera like that and just give it some time just to scan that in. So let me go to that step. Okay, so I've entered in my Wi-Fi password and this is what I'm presented with. So it's saying hold the screen of the phone 20 to 30 centimeters away from the camera and let it scan in. So if I now do that, got a QR code presented on there, and let's give it a moment. There you go, it's beeping. I'll just confirm on my phone. Let's give it a moment to attempt to connect. So obviously the QR code had details of how to connect. That's connected. Sorry, that scanned it in, and then obviously that's then attempted to connect to the Wi-Fi, and there you have it, successfully added. Very quick, quite impressed at that. So if I say completed, There you go, up and running very quickly actually. Okay, so now the camera's set up. Let me show you around the actual app. So I've got a number of devices in here. So there's the actual camera, and that's the icon you're going to get with it. So if I click on that, give it a moment just to connect again, and I'll quickly run through the items. So up here, if I click on that, you've got device name, so you can rename it. You can share the device with other people. Device information, so this will be details like the MAC address and the IP address. You've got basic settings. So if I go in there, the light indicator, if I click on that and flip it across. Okay, so if we look at the camera now, there's no light on there. Put it back again, flip across. There you go, the light's on. So that's indicating obviously there is power going to it. Okay, flip screen, obviously that's how you've positioned the camera. If you need to flip it around, then you can click that. Time watermark, you can turn off the time watermark if you wanted to. And infrared night vision function is actually off at the moment, so closed. And if we set it to automatic, it will just come on and off as need be. Okay, let's go back. Okay, next one is motion detection. It's currently on, so the alarm is on, and motion sensitivity is set to low. If I go back, card settings, so I've put my card in there and I can format it, and if you do put one in, always format it straight away so it's ready and it's fresh to be used. Okay, so the card's formatted now. So if I go back, the next thing is you've got here value added service purchase. Okay, so this is for the cloud subscription. Not going to attempt to add this in, so we're just going to go back. Then you've got feedback, firmware information, and then remove device. Okay, so let's go back. So if I now show this, you got signal strength here, so 72%. Obviously it is running off the Wi-Fi, as you can see from the antenna, and nothing else is connected. If I click here, you can grab a screenshot and that's saved to the phone's gallery. You can hit record and it will initiate a recording. Stop that, and then you've got playback. Nothing so far recorded, so that's why you're seeing that. Let's go back. Then you've got alarm, so you can actually turn off the alarms so you won't be notified if there's activity. Then you've got cloud video, so you can access that if you've purchased the subscription. Okay, next I'm going to go to full screen mode, and if I click here, you've got volume. Hit record and it will initiate a recording. There you go. There's a bit of a lag on there. You can hear it. Obviously it's going via the internet. Okay, so next let's go into alarm, and motion detection alarm switch is on and it's at low sensitivity. So let's change that to high sensitivity. Go back and let me show initially the actual lag on this just to give you an idea. And there you go, that's how you get a notification on there. So if there's any activity in the area, you'll just get a message. And if I go back now and we go to the point where it says me, message center, then you've got that video camera. If you give it a moment, there you go. You'll actually get pictures and the time the actual activity occurred. So excellent functionality. So at least you've got a summary of what happened and you've got a quick snapshot of that as well. So let me go back to the camera and let me show you the actual lag on this. So let it retrieve the video again, and if I move, you see it's quite spot on really. There's hardly any lag to it, which I'm quite surprised. Normally there is a slight lag on these cameras, but you can see it's literally a one-to-one copy of what's happening. So quite impressed with that. Okay, next thing, let me turn off my Wi-Fi and let me turn on, okay, data's already on. Let me go back, give it a moment. Data's connected over 4G. Jump back onto the camera. There you go. No ports to open on my router. Cloud-based login, so even more easy to use. And let's try again. And there you go. Wow. performance is really quick on this. I'm really surprised. I didn't think it would be as quick as this. So very impressive. And now if we go back to playback, see if there's anything there. There's nothing there, so let's go back to edit, and then we say card settings, SD card recording on off switch, so that's on now. And you can say event recording, so that's when there's motion detection, or non-stop recording, so you can have continuous recording going on there. So let me go back again. Hopefully it's recorded a few seconds worth now. And then if I go back to there you go. That's what's just been recorded on there. So excellent functionality and very easy to set up and use. I have to admit, very impressed with that. I'm surprised there's hardly any lag on this, because if you've seen other videos I've made, most of the cameras always have a very subtle lag on there. On this one, it's hardly anything. So very impressed by that. Okay, so this is a test of the actual microphone and the sound levels on this. So I'm probably about 3 meters away at this point. So that will give you an idea of the sound quality you're going to get. This is about 2 meters. This is about 1 meter. Okay, so you've seen the unboxing and setup of this outdoor IP camera. Build quality is great, simple to set up and configure. In terms of functionality, I think the motion detection is great. The fact it actually takes a snapshot and you can go through the history and see all the instances where it's taken a shot. In terms of actual functionality, I've tried getting it working on the Google Home Hub, but that functionality currently isn't available. So there you go. Hope it's helped anyone thinking of purchasing this. Details are in the description below. Thanks for viewing, and don't forget to like and subscribe.